I do collect tools. I like tools.
So do you collect them?
If I see a cool tool, that I will buy it.
Isn't that weird? Like, I will walk through Home Depot for the 8 billionth time looking to see if there's any neat tool that I was unaware of.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many, like, there's not going to be.
That hammer looks really sweet. It looks way better than my hammer.
All right. So, no, this time we went over COVID last, and so now we're out of COVID. Mm-hmm. I think we kind of grouped 21 into it because 20 and 21, people tend to forget like how much 21 was just
Was
like
the same.
Yeah, just an extension.
Yeah.
It
rolled.
was still chaos. And
Yeah, right. Different parts of the country were different, but
Yeah.
a lot of it was still shut down.
Right. No, it was really kind of tough. And it was tough to do business, and lots of things were tough still in 21.
Yeah.
But we get into 22 and things start to kind of perk up a little bit. And it's still hit or miss.
Right.
Conferences still, like, especially in the beginning part of the year, they were not really that popular.
No.
But in 21, we had gone to ERTEC for the first time.
Is that 21?
That was in 21.
Okay.
And we had a little
10 by 10.
Just a 10 by 10.
Yep.
And you and Tom were there. And we just had the TV and a roll-up banner. And
the table up front. Yeah.
And that was it. And that was a really kind of our very first conference, really. Yeah, really. That was our very first one.
That was our first one, yeah. Besides walking the floor, right?
Yes,
yeah. The first one we have a
Part
presence.
of the walking floor, yeah. But that's a tough thing. And still having a booth is another one of those things that felt like a measure of success.
Right.
And it's a funny one, too, because the ROI on it is awful, almost exclusively. And there'll always be someone who'll be like, it was great for me. Okay. I'm sure. No, almost everybody I know is like, we can't do them. They don't make sense.
Yeah, they can feel like they're great. I was even going to say, like that ERTEC, I remember that one, the first few days the first day, I mean, it was 3 days, right? 2 days.
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Yep.
The 2 days felt kind of slow and spread out.
Yeah.
And I remember that last day, it was chaos.
Yep.
And so everybody was through the booth, and it felt great. Me and Tom came away really excited about the outcome.
Right.
And then you actually, and if you stopped there, it felt good and worth it, right? But if you actually go back and measure.
Come on. Who's getting to those details?
That's where it's like, a lot of excitement. A lot of people feel like they're going to, or say they're the right things, that they're going to come along and be customers. And then you start watching it and it's like, well, it didn't really change the actual, the sign up numbers, and nothing jumped crazy. Right?
That is, and I think maybe forever will be, the biggest challenge is the actual numbers versus the feel of things.
Right.
And that's even the LinkedIn situation. You get, your LinkedIn post gets 200 likes and 10,000 views, and you make $0 off of it. And you're like, yay, ish.
Maybe.
I don't know. And everyone will have this, I got a job from a LinkedIn post. I'm like, okay, ish. Anyway, it's all good. But with that, we did that in 21. And so 22, we decide that since ERTEC went well, that we would go ahead and get a 10 by 20.
That's right.
And of course, Tom is there still working with us. And I think Pam Kaczynski had come on working with us. We didn't have Avis yet. She
came in a little bit later.
Yeah, she was January of 23.
23, that's what I thought,
so she was here for the very beginning of the start of the year 23 and 24.
Yes.
So so I remember this very distinctly. I'm sitting at home with SketchUp and like designing this booth, like and in my head I'm designing it around the idea of IKEA or Amazon furniture and some basics. And I send you a picture of this booth, and I'm pretty sure your reaction is like, that looks great. It also looks really expensive. We can't afford that. And I was like, I think we can build it. And you're like, no, we cannot.
That's not our job.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, we can. Come on. This is like a $50,000 booth that we're going to build in a weekend. And you're like, no, you can't build it in a weekend if we are building it. And then I was like, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. And then, so you flew in.
Flew in on a Thursday.
Like, let's run to Home Depot. So we bought all the supplies on a Thursday, midsummer in Houston.
Where were we? Did we come to my parents' house and grab my dad's truck?
You grabbed your dad's
and
truck.
then we drove straight to Home Depot. I got in at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We went to my parents, grabbed my dad's truck. We went to
Home Depot, bought everything,
went back there, unloaded it.
Mm-hmm. Started cutting some stuff.
Started some cuts, and then
I had to go for, I think it was my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
Right. And
so
I went.
Cut out.
Yeah.
And then, so that was that Thursday. And then Friday, you came back. We were gluing on the veneers onto the plywood
Mm-hmm.
and making the final cuts to put the pieces together. And then Friday night, you had headed out. I was staining things. My mom actually started staining.
That's right. We had to
stuff.
stain all the wood black.
We stained all the wood black. Saturday, we did a final test run.
Staining outside in the Houston heat.
Oh, and it was in one of those 100-degree things that happen here where you get 100-degree every single day. And
all the way through.
So we got here on a Thursday, though, and that booth was set up in the George R. Brown Sunday.
Yeah, it was wild.
Smelled like...
It was unbelievable.
Stain.
Yeah, it smelled like, fresh stain, right.
But
I think we even had, on the clothes we were wearing, there was still some, wet spots that got on our clothes.
So good.
That was
I mean, honestly, that worked great.
It's also you stabbed yourself.
I did. Oh my God. That was the funniest story. I was making fun of my dad at the time because he was helping us a lot. And I called him a Boy Scout because he was cutting towards himself. And then I proceeded to slice my knee open with a razor like an idiot.
Yeah. And then used packing tape to make a tourniquet kind of thing.
It was a combination of the Chick-fil-A bag that we had in a plastic bag that we had, or maybe tape or whatever. I was just put the bag up against it so that it could absorb it and then tape it up. All's well that ends well.
Still have your leg.
I do, yeah. Both of them. That's great. So that, I mean, honestly, that still goes down as one of my favorite WellDatabase. Us moving data centers is fun, but
that was just that'd be the second, I think.
Yeah, building that booth just on a whim. I mean, you guys would not believe the lack of planning that really went into it. I mean, I had a SketchUp.
You had to sketch up. What could go wrong?
Yeah. What could go wrong? I could tell you if you'd like, but
hey, that booth has held up very well.
It has been to 1, 2, 3, 4 shows now, and honestly, I don't think it looks any worse than it did day one. There's some brackets that need to be replaced, but other than that,
yeah,
I mean,
works good.
And that's my
even with Home Depot lumber.
That's right, and I'm blown away by that it's not all twisted. But that's the thing. I guess there's two things about that. One is, when you talk about doing a booth, you immediately start looking at pricing out this booth from a commercial vendor. Mm-hmm. And this is where the guerrilla stuff comes in. You really don't have to. And no one tells you you don't have to.
Right.
And the same thing, if you go want to install it, even in Denver where it was, we
painful.
Are union only. You're you are except for me.
Right.
And you're nice to the union guys. They start becoming your buddies, and
they were very friendly.
And there was nothing wrong with what we did.
They told us exactly what we could and couldn't do, and we didn't step on their toes, and they were happy. They were
right. And they you give them a minute. Union guys can be known to be a little grumpy, but as long as you stay polite to them.
That real grumpy guy I was real friendly with. That's by the end of it.
Yeah, by the end of it,
because I was in and out in that van in Denver.
Absolutely. And so that was awesome. And then beyond that, the second thing is stop doing what everyone else is doing in a trade show. Blending in is not the goal.
Right.
It's standing out.
I mean,
and so
make a statement.
That's why people had booth babes.
Right. But we didn't do that.
That's dead.
That is dead.
That is completely
dead before.
It was. Do you know, I heard someone tell me that in their estimation, it was dead because it died because people started using prostitutes instead of just models.
I'm not surprised, I guess.
Yeah. I never knew. I don't know
I had
where,
no idea
where
either,
I was.
I'm just that was dead, at least in the technology side. It was few and far between, even in 2012. Mm. I don't know about the oil and gas side because I was more on the software. I'd taken that little sidetrack into software.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I mean, I remember 12 NAPE seeming, and I say I'm using the term very loosely, and I hope it's not, people don't take it derogatory because it's just what it was called at the time. But it's attractive women, and I don't believe they worked at those companies. They were there for the show. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's standing out though. It's the kind of booth that we have. People say it feels like a cigar
lounge
or something like that.
Cozy.
Yeah, that's exactly
place
right.
you want to come hang out and play video games.
And they do. And the video games is another thing that I really like that we do, because that's another thing people talk about a lot, like personality in the company that we have. We keep making our stamp on putting ourselves into the company. Things like having video games at our booth. I mean, of course it's professional, but
or as Easter eggs on the website.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, come on, that's just fun, right?
Yeah, I think so, because I like video games. So.
Right. And this is interesting. I had a meeting just today with a senior guy at a major company who's my exact same age. And that's a new thing for me. I am used to people, talking to people 10, 20, 30 years older. And so that's, I think, we'll get into that in a future episode, but it's a big change. That
big shift that's
they
been
talk
coming.
about they've talked about it forever, but that last generation hung on longer, and for a number of reasons, but still that's really starting to happen now. And so the video games, I think, is just our personal touch. But yeah, I don't think it's anywhere remote.
Yeah, everybody our age came up with video games as part of their kind of life, and I think we all have a different perspective than the little bit of older generation.
Well, and we throw it. I mean, we're talking about arcade games,
right?
Things everybody can
That's
enjoy. So okay, yeah, we build our booth and we have a really great show again in show terms. You know
that first name?
Yeah. First Urtech.
I mean, first Urtech. Yes. Sorry.
Yep, it was a great show, and we had just brought on a second salesperson at that time too. And he first came to the show. It was like the first start, and it was John Byers.
That's right. He started and came straight. Yeah.
I had known John forever and ever.
Yeah.
Did you work with him at New Tech, or did he come out after?
I think he came right after I left New Tech.
Yeah. So
you kept swearing up and down, like, you worked with him. I don't think so.
I get confused. It happens. Old man time. So yeah, we're building a booth. We're going to shows. The company is really starting to feel a little different, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause we're doing these big things, right?
But knowing what you know about the shows and the return that you get on them, do you think they're worth it?
I still go back and forth on it. Like, it doesn't have immediate value on obviously the user numbers. But there is a certain amount of brand building that I think they help with. Like having that presence, being out there, and, even just talking to people, and it may have an impact further down the road.
Right.
That's where it's always questionable. It's hard to measure it. Every company that I've worked at that's done booths finds it extremely hard to measure the long-term effects of it.
It is hard. For us, we have tracked every person that we have met at every show we have ever done.
Right.
And so we have a full history of everyone, and getting the reports out necessary to see that, and conversions. Yeah, and people are moving jobs and that kind of thing too. It's always interesting.
It's hard, right?
Yep. So, but it did feel kind of like a bounce back and kind of a return back to that momentum that we felt like we got thrown for a loop for in 2020 and 21. I feel like that's our entire adult lives, though. Like, at our age, what do we have? We have the dot-com bust, September 11th, the financial crisis, 2008, the kind of pullback in 15, COVID in 2020. It's like our entire adulthood is mired with these
big events,
every ups and downs.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and then go back to the 90s, and I swear to God, nothing happened in the 90s. It was just like, everybody make money. You can go back into the 80s, early 80s. You had the oil crunch and stuff like that. You had inflation. I mean, you had interest rates were crazy back then. So there's a little bit of shakiness in the early 80s. But then late 80s through the 90s, which is the meat of our childhood.
Golden times.
Yeah. We were just too young. But no, that was a nice bounce back. And then the show was good. I feel, and John came on, and, John did really well. It was kind of a shame Tom would end up jumping ship later that year. But I thought they had a good rapport between them.
Yeah, they had a good thing going,
Yeah, they seemed like they could really work well together. And when I talked to Tom about it, he got a good experience with us getting in the software world, because he came from frac sand sales and things like that. So, and he just wanted to move into a more corporate, more structured environment with more support, more everything. And I get it.
You wanted to see what it was like.
Right.
Because he hadn't been on that side of the software.
Exactly.
Like, cool.
Yeah. I mean, I like boring stuff too.
Hey, you got to feel it all out.
But then yeah, John did really well. John came in firing. He's kind of a data nut, and so he really
John did come in fire with lots of ideas and cool visualizations that we could add on.
Yep. And then
He was obviously big in frac data, so he
Right.
would pour over that data that we had.
yeah, he got on the chemical side
Right.
after when he left
Right.
later on. But yeah, no, I love John. Still talk John. That's what I tell him. We stay in touch with everybody that's ever worked with us, and so we always have a good time there. But yeah, that booth, and I guess that was we just did that one booth for 22. We didn't go to any other shows that year. It wouldn't be till 23 that we started doing more.
22, we also didn't we do the one of the data conferences?
We did PPDM in May of 23.
Oh, it was 23. That was the first one?
That
Okay.
was the first one.
Got it.
So, but yeah, it was a nice. Again, I don't think it can be understated how 21 was so much like 2020, and that 22 was almost like let's get back.
It was
to
finally
where we
building
were
back out,
in
right.
2019.
People coming out of the whole
Right.
cave and like looking.
But it was slow though too, because even that first show, like it was quiet. I mean, these shows used to get 20,000 people at them, and
Right.
still today they get half that at
yeah,
best.
it hasn't fully recovered. The
No,
show.
I don't think shows ever will. Or, I mean, look at E3 or
That's true.
CES. I
CES,
mean,
yeah.
all of them suffered the same. But it's not an industry, not our industry. It's a
Yeah,
show
yeah.
problem.
Right.
And I do believe it has a lot to do with the ROI and the prevalence of other forms of media that were more effective, like a podcast.
Like podcasts and stuff. Yeah.
So,
And a lot of E3 and all those, they started doing, the larger companies started doing their own kind of small show.
and it's so easy though.
right.
I mean,
Because
Apple,
of-
of course, puts WWDC and that kind of thing, but like Nintendo does Nintendo Directs.
Right. Exactly.
And that's-
Sony does something, you know.
They're
they
just
all-
sitting there recording out at a desk. They
That's
don't
it.
even. I mean, that costs them like a nickel.
But they can
and
make a bunch of press about it.
They can. And I tell you, I've got children who set alarms to watch
Exactly.
Nintendo Directs every time they come out. And the last one sucked, and they still watched it and loved it. Anyway, but I think that's where it's going, and it's really, I feel like for us, it's really similar. I think that
Right.
you might still find us at some shows, but you probably will see more of us at parties and alternative media things.
Yeah. The networking sides.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
Because that's one thing about parties, and this is another tip in my mind at least, is like you go to any show and the question all day, what party are you going to tonight?
That's true.
What party are you going to tonight?
Which one are you going to be at? Which
if-
ones? Yeah. Where will we see you?
If you are going to be one of the big
you have a
name
pass I can
parties,
have?
your name is going to be said by thousands of people all day long.
Yeah.
As
that's right.
opposed to your booth where you got a few hundred that might walk by it. So, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. But I do think that was a cool thing to go through. It was fun.
Yeah, it definitely was fun.
And it was definitely kind of brought us into kind of another level of what we were doing with our company. So, but I will say the importance I put on doing a booth was probably too high.
Yeah, I think you were one of the ones that was big on it. And I had done it quite a bit at a prior company, and I'd already talked to marketing about the ROI and measuring and how well it would be. But, you know, markets are different, so.
No, and at these shows, you've got our big competitors there with
Yeah.
massive booths all the time and people swarming all around them. You're like, that looks good.
That's good.
I understand. Yeah. I still think that looks good, but at the end of the day, we've had people swarming around our booth. We've had so many people at our booth that we had 4 or 5 people there and we couldn't handle
Right.
them all, you know. And so, I mean, it's not like some of the bigger booths where they've got like 20 and 30 people working there, but still.
I mean, for our size, that we had the right number of people for that size booth.
Yeah.
It just
But-
means we probably could have gotten a bigger booth and
Right.
more people, but would it have had any difference in the impact on the user?
And that's a great question. Is there anything to drop in $100,000 on one of the massive sponsor areas for like some big and think like One World style?
Yeah.
One
That one
World
makes a
Petroleum.
statement. It's easy to see from everywhere.
Everyone
right?
talked about it nonstop at that show,
Right.
and so imagine if you were a vendor, what that might look like.
That's true.
But that's just a big gamble.
It's a big gamble.
So I'm gonna stick with the what we know. But no, it was a great time. We come back from that. And from a product standpoint, I guess we'll take just a couple minutes. We made a big shift on the analytics side. And it was John Byers really helped press a lot of that. And that makes sense because he was like, we need all these analytics around frac ingredients. We need all these analytics around the permit moving and activity. We need you went through all of our data types.
Yeah. That's where we really flipped to our pre-built dashboards. We're not quite to the customizable ones there yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
no,
this is the pre-built ones. We really flipped it so you could slice and dice them a lot more at that point.
And we went from having primarily production dashboards with all your tabs across the top. We consolidated them all into one.
Then we did permits, completions. I mean, we've added on to those, but I think we started with permits, completions, production, which was what we had before.
And stimulation.
And then we would all add on to those later.
Right. Yeah, because people start asking about flaring data. Well, that's part of disposition technically. And then they start asking about tests and IPs, and that's another.
Injection, all these kinds of things.
Injection ones came around.
I think environment. Did we do an incidents one?
We did not do an incidents one yet. We have talked about it, but we haven't brought it up yet. Incidents are a funny one. It's a good risk factor to take into account on M&A, but at a high level, a lot of people would rather not look at that. So I don't know. There is something to that, leaving a positive feeling with your customers.
That's
and if
true.
their feeling is, well, database is a place for people to go to rain on our parade, I'm not sure that's going to feel great. Whatever. But yeah, so product-wise, we do that. We, of course, we're up and running in our cluster. We are adding new data points, adding new services. And, with the new salespeople, the Tom and John there, I was back on the technical side, like 24/7, and same with you. And so we I think spent a lot of time tying up loose ends, but then also like,
is that towards the end of this time period when we got the Snowflake stuff set up too?
Yep, that was Snowflake. That was at the end of 2020. We were doing that into 21.
Okay, yeah, so we missed that one.
Started
Yeah,
doing that. Yep. But we started replicating our data in more places. We started using messages for pushing our data around. We did a lot of things to help
rather than batch syncs. Yep.
Right, and then that was a great way of. But I mean, it's more of our story though, is that we're always looking forward to what the next technologies can do to help improve what we're doing.
Right.
So. And AI
get the data to everybody faster.
Yeah.
And AI come,
Yeah, AI. I mean, and 22, when we go into 23 at PPDM, that was my entire talk I did there was about what your data should look like for AI and machine learning.
That's right.
So
forgot about that.
Yep. So we were already on that cusp, but what we did and the way we built the analytics, and you touched on this in a different one, like the analytics did nothing but highlight all of the potential problems in our data.
Right.
Those same problems are the same things are why models fail horribly.
Because there's all those potholes.
The inconsistencies and the terrible parts of the data. So us fixing it for the analytics now made us like the place to go for ML ready data.
Right.
So it was a good time. It was a lot of advancements. I think we grew. We still, with 2 sales, we didn't grow as much as we wanted to. But that was at time. It was
still the market recovering.
It was still just kind of coming back slow and steady. So, but again, building a booth was still top 5 cool things we did.
It was a fun one.
Yeah. Don't know if I'd do it again.
Probably.
No, I would. Absolutely would.
I don't think it was a mistake or anything.
I almost built a guitar for the last booth. I was like, I want to give away a guitar that we build. And I was like, yeah, I got time for that.
Maybe for another one.
Another one. Absolutely for another one. All right, we'll wrap that one here, though. We're right on time for the first time ever. Anyway.
Cheers.
It's excellent. No, we're getting to modern times. It's kind of fun. Like, it's easier to talk about because I remember it. we were talking things 15 and 20 years ago.
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with how much we've remembered.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I remember stuff sometimes after, and then we try and fit it in a little later.
Right.
We've worked some of it in.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just have a true up episode at the end.
Yeah, it's actually
we'll call it the technical debt.
I like it.
All right, cool.
All right.
Well, that's fun. We'll call this a wrap.
Thanks for watching, listening. Thanks for listening.